Okay, not gonna lie, these ruins blew us away. We thought we were just checking off a box, but everyone kept telling us how much they like Uxmal more than Chichen Itza. Turns out, it just might be Mexico's most underrated archaeological site. It's massive, it's climbable, it's crowd-free, the locals are pretty chill, and somehow it still doesn't get the same love. But maybe that's the secret sauce though. Let Chichen Itza keep all the tour buses. We're good here. Today we're bringing you with us, from how to get there, what it costs, what we wish someone would have told us beforehand,
And by the time this video comes out, the prices will probably go up again, so
you know the drill. Oh, and we're making a detour to one very local cenote. So yeah, it's gonna be a good day.
So this morning we're actually renting a car to get to Uxmal. We'll explain a little bit why and kind of the cost comparison when we start the drive. But we are renting from a place called Beal. This came recommended to us from a classmate. It is a little bit pricier than what I was expecting, but this rental agency has 4.8 stars, which I feel like is unheard of for any car rental agency in the world. It's a little hard to find, but it's right across the street from Mercado 60. All right, so this is costing us like 68 bucks for the day. We have it for 24 hours. The reason we decided to get a rental car is because first we were looking at tours, and the tours were like 50 bucks a person. You'd go to Uxmal, you'd go to some cenotes, you'd go to a hacienda for lunch, but the admission prices weren't included in the tour cost. And I was like, that's crazy. So then I was like, maybe we take the bus. The bus is 21 bucks a person, so that puts us at like 40. And I think at this point we'd rather pay 30 bucks past that for the freedom.
this drive is like an hour and 15 minutes, so let's hit the road and hopefully get there before most of the crowds in the buses.
And what Tony doesn't know is that I packed some Spanish homework for us to do.
Oh my God.
The biggest concern I have right now is we are visiting Uxmal on a Sunday, and looks like right now we'll get there around a little after 10:30. I believe that Mexicans can get into Uxmal for free on Sundays, and when you Google like tips for visiting Uxmal, the general consensus is to not visit on the weekend, but we have class Monday through Friday, so we can't visit during the week. So I'm hoping it's not going to be too busy, and I'm hoping it's not going to be too blistering hot, but we'll see.
All right, well, I thought I read somewhere the parking used to be 30 pesos. It is 120 pesos now, but the parking lot's huge. It was pretty easy to find parking. Now we gotta go buy tickets. The entry fee, I think, is like 500 pesos for foreigners, but we'll go check it out and see. For foreigners, it's 581 pesos. I think for local residents, it's probably half that. And then on Sundays, like Sarah was saying, it's free for Mexicans. Also, there's a lot of people waiting out front for tour guides, but they are 950 pesos per person, and 800 for Espanol, and then 950 for a different language. So we're gonna wing it. What'd you learn?
Hook is the Maya word for hill, knoll, or mountain range. Few housekeeping agenda items. It was 581 pesos a person to get in. That includes like 2 different tickets, I think. One is like a tax, I'm pretty sure I read. And then we had to pay 60 pesos to film. Now we are bringing our tiniest video camera that we have. We are not bringing out the big boy because I don't think it's allowed.
Also, in case it needs to be said, this is a no drone zone. Don't even think about it. We're already here, and we haven't told you what this place is yet. Not that you don't already know, but here's a super quick version. Uxmal was a major Mayan city founded around 700 AD and hit its peak between the 6th and 10th centuries, which actually makes it older than Chichen Itza. It was about astrology, power, and apparently flexing some seriously next-level architecture.
So you hear all these people clapping right when you get in, and you're kind of like, what is going on? That's because if you clap hard enough, you can hear the echo bounce back off of the structure.
Sounds like a bird.
It does sound like a bird, it's weird. Let's see if this works.
The first structure you see in Uxmal, the one making the bird calls, is the Pyramid of the Magician. The bird calls are caused by unique acoustics of the site, especially near the pyramid. What makes it unique is the shape. Most Mayan pyramids are rectangular, but this one's oval, which makes it super rare in Mesoamerica. Even crazier, there are 5 temples built on top of each other. Basically, every time they wanted to renovate, they just built one whole new pyramid over top of the last one.
We're standing in the Nunnery Quadrangle, and this was built from the years 900 to 1000, but the name in regards to nunnery was given in the 16th century because it resembled a convent. There's 4 different palaces in this quadrangle, and this was the seat of the last ruler of Uxmal as well. They're gone now, but there were a lot of birds. There's a lot of room to spread out. There's not as many people as I was worried about there being, and I thought it'd just be like open, but there, you can actually find quite a bit of shade. I thought there wouldn't be really any English signs describing the history, but they actually have quite a few outside of the important spots.
These look like the stands where people would watch, and then the players, I guess, would be here trying to score in the ball game.
Also, there's some big iguanas here, so if you're not into big lizard sunbathing, just be warned.
It's crazy to think that 25,000 people lived here.
Yeah. How are you feeling about not doing a tour?
Totally fine. I think I'm learning enough from the signs that are everywhere. And honestly, this is a personal problem, but I'm so hungry. If I was on a tour, going at a tour pace, I think I'd lose my mind. Because all I can think about is what's for lunch. Not to throw more shade at Chichen Itza, because it's actually quite amazing, but one thing we loved about Uxmal is that you can actually climb some of the ruins. It just makes the whole thing feel more connected, like less postcard, more adventure, and seeing the world from the top adds to the experience. We stared at the pyramid long enough to absorb a little ancient wisdom, and also long enough where my skin was starting to feel a little crispy. So we hauled our sweaty butts back to the car, and next stop, water. All right, Mayan ruins, check. We are quite sweltering, so I think we're going to try and find a cenote to cool off in. We have not been to a cenote yet in Mexico. We've only actually been to one ever together, and that was in Florida. Insert Devil's Den footage here. Yeah, it should be interesting. I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea what it costs. I have no idea if there'll be people. I have no idea if we'll have to wear life jackets. So you're gonna find out along with us.
I was born on a day in the internet age. Now it's backwards hat 90s, a gaudy millennial days.
Cenotes are kind of cosmic when you think about it. Most of them in the Yucatan are connected by the largest underground river system on Earth, and visiting one is always the same ritual. You spot a random hole in the ground with some sketchy looking stairs, you hesitate for a second, then you go, why not? And suddenly you're in a cave, staring at the coolest swimming pool you've ever seen. Some people even forget the stairs completely. We're not those people. I'm just gonna get in nice and slow. It's pretty cool to be able to swim in a cenote because you're literally diving into a collapsed cave that's part of one giant underground river system. It's like nature's secret swimming hole. But we didn't stay terribly long though, because as great a time as we had, we still had a drive ahead of us, and I had zero interest in making that drive after sunset.
That was lovely. It was cool because I'm very buoyant, so really my best trick in water is floating on my back. But when you're floating on your back and you're looking up at like the cave, it kind of looks like coral, so it's kind of trippy because you're like, I was like imagining myself in water, but like looking up at the coral.
My best trait in the water is I sink, so I get to see the bottom.
Yeah, I don't go underwater. I've been doing all this late night talking. So we'll leave the info to that cenote in the description of this video in case you fancy a visit yourself. Now we're going to a very exciting tourist destination that's called Walmart. Because we just need to get some things there, and it's too far for us normally, but now we have a car. So I'm very excited. I am trying to find some reef safe sunscreen for some trips coming up, and then we're just gonna see what snacks and food we can load up on. I'm guessing none of you tuned in to see us shop at Walmart, so here are our final tips. You don't need a tour, but be prepared for the heat. There are a few shaded areas, so take breaks often if you need to. Finally, Uxmal is beautiful and well maintained, so keep it that way. So, was Uxmal worth it? 1000% yes. Fewer crowds, epic views, and way more room to roam, and totally doable in half a day. Next week, we're going to be taking a detour to Valladolid to explore the town, hunt down even better cenotes, and see how Chichen Itza stacks up to Uxmal. Spoiler, we've got opinions.